Nothing I enjoy hunting more than small upland game birds, and there's nothing that I enjoy grilling more than small upland game birds. It's fast, it's easy. So this is my take on a grilled quail noodle salad. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make my marinade: sake, soy sauce, a little bit of sesame oil, garlic and ginger. Don't even need to whisk it. No need to add salt because the soy sauce has plenty. No need to add any sugar because the sake has natural sugars in it. That little bit of sesame oil is gonna permeate everything and give us that wonderful scorched sesame oil taste. The only thing that I wanna do before I put these quail in is to trim off the first two pieces of the wing joint. It just makes cooking a lot easier, and it makes eating a lot easier as well. I want to let these sit in the marinade for 15, 20 minutes. We can just let our quail sit at room temperature. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is make my herb sauce for this. A little bit of water, sugar. I really want that sugar to melt during the blender process, so I give it a head start by sitting in the water. Peanut oil, fish sauce, sesame oil, a little bit of soy, lime juice. We can always add more to taste. 1 minced hot chili. Now, I like to put a little bit of hot mustard in there. Helps to emulsify this sauce, but it also gives it a wonderful sort of horseradishy, spicy quality to it. Cilantro and mint. When you use one, use the other. If you have people in your family that don't like cilantro, the antiseptic quality of the mint absolutely helps the cilantro to taste less soapy, which it does for a lot of people. The garlic flavor blooms in this. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to put a piece of ginger. Even though the blender is really good at combining things, fresh ginger is very, very fibrous. So I just want to cut it into little chunks. I like it spicy and hot. And this is gonna go with our grilled quail, our noodles, our herbs, tomatoes, and other goodies. But I wanna really emulsify this, don't bite down on big chunks. I also wanna make sure that the ginger is completely dispersed in there, nice and homogeneous. And of course, something most people don't do enough of, taste it, because now you can correct it with a little more sugar, a little more lime juice. Doesn't need it, perfect. Now into the fridge for 15, 20 minutes while we prepare the other elements for the dish. So we have our quail, have a plate ready, because these are gonna cook really, really, really fast. We're just gonna swing this coal bed underneath there, let that burn itself for a while. And when those flames die down, we'll get going. This dish, by the way, works so well with any meat or poultry, but it's ideal with doves and pigeons, quail, any upland birds. I recommend grilling these show side down with the wing joints in the up position. And the reason I like show side down is really very simple. I want to cook this for as long as possible on that show side. That's the first rain that this part of Texas has seen in 6 months. And of course, I'm cooking in it. So the key here is that you actually want quite a bit of char on these, but you don't want to overcook them. So just lift them up and take a look. I mean, that's not a lot of char, right? That's nice char. Now remember, with small little birds like this, not a lot of fat. You want to cook them to medium rare and let them rest so there's a nice blush to the meat all the way through. You do not want to overcook these. Because these are semi-boneless, just pick up the pieces. Super, super easy to do that. And look what I said to you about Frenching those little bones. Look at how nice that looks. That's about as good looking a plate of food as you're gonna find. While these are resting on the plate, we're gonna go back up to the pavilion, create our noodle bowls. Perfect for a Vietnamese-style noodle salad. It's time to cook our somen. These are Japanese wheat noodles. They're very thin. I'm gonna cook them for about maybe 2.5 minutes in rapidly boiling salted water. Because of the amount of protein in the flour, it's a high gluten flour. These really have to be watched. They're just a little chewy. The minute they lose that hard center, I take them and I plunge them into ice water. It tightens them up and makes them very bouncy and chewy, so they have the optimum cold noodle texture and perfect for absorbing more of the juices from the quail and this vinaigrette. That's perfect. And into the cold water it goes. And just keep manipulating the noodles around. I can feel them getting literally as cold as that ice water is. And then you can just use your hand, let it rest on a towel. And the reason I'm resting it on a towel is just so it has an opportunity to drain off the rest of its water. And you don't have to worry about them sticking together. The minute you drop them into that ice water, that gluten sort of seizes up. And the vinaigrette that goes on top of these is also gonna keep them nice and loose. So you don't need to worry about them getting tough. Got some vegetables to cut. Got a half of one of these small Persian cucumbers. Little radish. It's that time of year. This comes together so effortlessly. These are some hot chilies, in case anybody wants a little chili crunch. How about a mint top? Wilt those, you get nice little antiseptic pop from the mint. Some cherry tomatoes. This is baby romaine. I'm just cutting it as thin as I can. Such a lovely texture. Super healthy, super yummy. Some green scallion. This dish is absolutely perfect. This is stunning quail from my friends who are hosting us here at Broken Arrow Ranch. So I have the two little dark quarters, and look at that blush. That's perfect. And we're just gonna perch that on top. Now this is a very strong dressing, and I use it for all kinds of things. Usually at this point, I'm like, hey, I wonder how this is gonna taste, but this meal is on heavy rotation in our house. Sour, salty, bitter, sweet, and spicy. And this quail is just absolutely out of sight. Don't overcook it. Let it rest. 3-4 minutes, and it's good to go. One of the things that I really like about eating this is that every single bite has a different combination of ingredients. Cucumber, lettuce, quail, hot chili. It just is fantastic. If you'd like any of our recipes, all you have to do is go to www.outdoorchannel.com and click on Wild Game Kitchen.